joint member statements. I call the member for Baulkham Hills and Minister.
Thank you, Mr Assistant Speaker. For the whole earth is the tomb of famous men. Not only are they commemorated by columns and inscriptions in their own country, but in foreign lands there dwells also an unwritten memorial of them, graven not on stone, but in the hearts of men. Make them your examples, and understanding that happiness requires freedom, and freedom requires courage. Do not take lightly the perils of war. So said Pericles in his great funeral oration. Thucydides recounted these words, delivered for those who had died defending Athens and its young democracy in his History of the Peloponnesian Wars. This profound exhortation immediately rings true for Australians when considering the sacrifices of our ANZACs. Our urban, suburban and rural landscape is dotted by monuments of our great generation. But there are still pockets of the world far beyond our shores where the ANZACs are known and loved deeply. Nowhere else is this appreciated and felt so strongly as the little French town of Villers-Bretonneux. On the 24th of April 1918, the Germans seized the town in the world's first tank battle. But that night and the next day it was recaptured by 2 brigades of the 1st Australian Imperial Force. 1,200 men lost their lives. The town's mayor spoke of the Australian troops on the 14th of July 1919 when unveiling a memorial in their honour. He said, "The first inhabitants of Villers-Bretonneux to re-establish themselves in the ruins of what was once a flourishing little town have, by means of donations, shown a desire to thank the valorous Australian armies, who, with the spontaneous enthusiasm and characteristic dash of their race, in a few hours drove out an enemy 10 times their number. They offer a memorial tablet, a gift which is but the least expression of their gratitude, compared with the brilliant feat which was accomplished by the sons of Australia, soldiers of Australia, whose brothers lie here in French soil. Be assured that your memory will always be kept alive and that the burial places of your dead will always be respected and cared for." Mr Assistant Speaker, whether it's Villers-Bretonneux, Gallipoli or the Somme, it's true that the whole earth is the tomb of these great men, and so we should make them our example. This was my motivation for establishing the Premier's ANZAC Ambassadors program. This year, 6 high school students will learn about the contribution of ANZAC soldiers and nurses during a once-in-a-lifetime journey of key battlefields in Europe as part of that scholarship. It follows on from the first initial scholarship in 2014, when 6 Western Sydney students joined me and the former member for Blue Mountains, Dr Rosa Sage, on a pilgrimage to Gallipoli. In April, Eduardo Biacchino, Shahini De Silva, Petra Stosnich, Joshua Bednar, Lauren Sullivan and Liam Rickard will visit Athens, Lemnos, Crete, Paris, Ypres and the Somme as part of a 2-week tour sponsored by Clubs New South Wales. They will spend Anzac Day at that sacred site, Villers-Bretonneux. The competition was very strong, and whilst not everyone was successful, I hope it has continued this conversation amongst our youth about the significance of the Anzac story to Australia's history. The program will give these young people an incredible opportunity to gain first-hand knowledge of the contribution made by Australian soldiers and, of course, our wonderful nurses. It will provide and pass on to their peers when they return home a story of hope. I also hope that at the end of their scholarship, these students will understand that happiness we all now take for granted is due to the freedom we enjoy, and that freedom has been preserved due to the courage and sacrifice of ANZACs defending our young democracy. Lest we forget.
I thank the member for Baulkham Hills and Minister.